everybody! Today I'll be filming my 35th and 36th week pregnancy update. I'm sorry it's not two separate videos. I actually thought I filmed my 35th week update for some reason, and then I checked the camera and I didn't. And now I'm like, I have to film it. So I wanted to film it together. To be honest, it was very similar, but let's just get started. So at 35 weeks, your baby is as heavy as a honeydew melon. He weighs 2.4 kilograms and measures 45 centimeters from head to toe. His elbows, foot, and head may be protruding from your stomach when he stretches and squirms about. Soon as the wall of your uterus and abdomen stretch thinner and lets in more light, your baby will begin to develop daily activity cycles. This week, your little one is now sporting fingernails and has a fully developed pair of kidneys. His liver can also produce some waste products. There's much less amniotic fluid, much more baby in your uterus, which has expanded 1,000 times its original size. And you probably put on 11 to 13.6 kilograms, and your weight gain has hit its peak. Even your belly button has gotten bigger and popped outwards, which no, it hasn't. Yeah, so for 35 weeks, I'm definitely feeling huge. Well, I'm feeling huge where I am now, but I feel like 35 weeks, you definitely start feeling very lazy, very tired, very like uncomfortable, but I am getting more sleep. I know that in previous updates, I've been saying that, you know, he's not letting me sleep, he's always moving a lot at night, but now I think because my belly has dropped a little bit, that I'm getting a little bit more sleep. I don't think it has changed in size-wise much from last week, which I'll show you a picture of it this week at 35 weeks. We did have an appointment for the doctor to get the flu shot, which we ended up getting we got the flu shot, which we bought at the pharmacy, and then we ended up actually getting the flu shot at 36 weeks. So I'll talk to you about that in the second half of my video. Yeah, everything else, the bags are packed, we're ready to go. I feel like a lot of the time I just go into his room and start rearranging his clothes. So it's pretty much all organized, but I just kind of reorganize it. Like I undo it and redo it again because I'm just so ready for him. Now I haven't really gone for much walks because I just feel like, not that I'm unstable, but I really feel more comfortable when there's someone to come for a walk with me, like my husband. So on the weekend, we go for a very long walk. But during the week when I'm home, I really only go for walks very close to home. I don't go for really long walks just in case anything does happen. And I do think he will come early, but I don't think he's gonna, like, obviously he hasn't come yet, but I do think he's gonna come a little bit earlier. So I think in my 35th week, I was very like, okay, I'm not gonna go for long walks. I'm just going to go around like very close by and then stay near the house. So I have been feeling like very lazy these past 2 weeks, to the point where I just want to stay home and like rest all day. And I think it's my body's way of kind of getting me ready for, or getting my body rested so that labor happens and it's not like I have energy for it. I don't know, because I am feeling very tired. Even, for example, on the weekend when we go for a walk, when we come back, it's like enough for me. Like we'll go for like an hour walk, let's say, and I feel extremely exhausted from having an hour walk, and my pelvis is really sore and he feels really heavy. Anytime I have any type of liquid, like a glass of water, which I have with me right now, or a cup of tea or cup of coffee or anything, I have to go to the toilet straight away afterwards because my bladder just can't hold any liquids. Before I go for a walk, I go to the toilet right before, because I know that if I don't, I'm gonna need to go to the toilet while we're walking, which there's no like real public toilets next to us. And I do feel very thirsty. Like I feel like I can drink and drink and drink and never be like satisfied. And I'm trying not to drink so much sugary drinks like juice or iced coffees or anything like that. I'm just trying to drink water, but it doesn't quench my thirst. I feel like orange juice quenches my thirst and water doesn't. I don't know why, but that's probably why I've been eating a lot of fruit as well. So I love myself some apples at the moment, some grapes. Yeah, and I've been noticing that my nose is a little bit runny. I don't know if it's like allergies. It shouldn't be, because now we're going into autumn, or we're in autumn. So I never get allergies in autumn, only in spring. And so I do think it's got to do with something. I did have on the Saturday, which would have been 35 weeks. I don't know, I feel like all these weeks are blending into one, but it was in between 35 or 36 weeks. Braxton, his contractions on a Saturday, and it was probably like 2 in the morning. And when I say morning, I mean like 11 a.m. So not like, more like the afternoon. And then we went for a walk just to get my body kind of moving, and you know, I think it actually was 36 weeks. And then I think we came home and I had another Braxton, I had one more. And then after when I get Braxton contractions, which I've had it like a couple days, probably twice now for a little bit, I get exhausted afterwards. Like, I'm so kaput that I need to have a nap, and I have like a really deep sleep. So I don't know what that is, and it gets me kind of scared, because if I do have real contractions, am I going to be that exhausted after having a real contractions that I am with the fake contractions? I don't know. But yeah, that's pretty much my 35th week. So I'll talk about 36 weeks. I just have my book here just to go over what I went through with those weeks, just so I'm informed. So week 36, the baby is close to the size as a large course lettuce. So the baby is still gaining 28 grams a day, and it weighs 2.7 kilograms and 45 centimeters long head to toe. But I know that it depends on your child as well and your genetics. You know, it could be weighing more than 2.7 kilos. It could be weighing less. It could be measuring at less than 45 centimeters. It could be measuring more. But it's around about that amount. So your baby begins, you may begin to feel pressure in your lower abdomen and notice that your baby is gradually dropping. Yes, I definitely do. This is called lightening or engagement, and your lungs and stomach will finally get a chance to stretch out a little bit. Breathing and eating gets much easier. Walking may become increasingly uncomfortable though. Some women say it feels like their baby is going to fall out, and I've pretty much said that before, that it feels like he's going to fall out. So definitely I've been feeling that way for a couple of weeks now. Also, you may still feel as if you need to go to the loo all the time. Definitely yes. And then the good news is, by the end of the week, your pregnancy is in full term, and you could give birth at any day. Babies born between 37 and 42 weeks are considered full term. Your baby born before 37 weeks is premature. At your weekly visits, your doctor and midwife might check to see if you're starting to dilate. Okay, so I don't know if it's just the hospital that I'm currently at the moment, but we're not actually having weekly checkups. I do have one checkup this month and that is at 39 weeks if I make it to that. So that is kind of weird to me, because a lot of people that I've spoken to has for the last month of their pregnancy saw their doctor every single week, like once a week for that last month, which it hasn't been like that for me, and it hasn't changed. So usually I go see the doctor once a month, and it hasn't changed to the end. I was originally meant to see the doctor on the 2nd of November, but then they changed it to the following week, which was I think the 9th. And then they changed it again to the 16th of November. So I wouldn't have seen anyone from the 33 weeks to 39 weeks, which is a long stretch of time to me. But that's just the way it is. I know that, you know, we can just go at any time to the hospital if I'm feeling anything, like if I'm feeling contractions for a long time, if my water does break, that we can just go to the hospital. And we also know, my husband does know a midwife that we can contact if we have any questions, I guess. But yeah, so I find that really strange, but I don't know, that's just the way it has been. I've definitely felt very lazy this week, like very lethargic, is that a word? Very fatigued, very like, I just can't be bothered doing anything. I just want to stay in bed all day. I kind of like walk around like a zombie. I do still wake up, and I have been doing this since like in my 20s weeks, like in around the 20s area. But I wake up at like 3 to 5 o'clock in the morning, have breakfast, hang around for a little bit, and then go back to sleep until about 9 to 10, and then I'm awake for the day. But like I've been doing that for the whole of it actually has felt like the whole of my pregnancy. I've been waking up really early to have breakfast. So I still do that. Some days I'm not too hungry, so I'm able to still sleep for a little bit longer. But I definitely still wake up at like 3 to 5 o'clock in the morning. And because the time was changed to an hour backwards, which means we have an extra hour of sleep, if that makes sense. So I think my body hasn't realized that. So instead of waking up at like 4 o'clock in the morning, I've been waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning to have breakfast. So I definitely am going to try to stay awake for a little bit longer. I know by 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, I'm exhausted, so I go to sleep. But so I will definitely put a picture up of my belly. I think it has gone a little bit rounder this week, and we did get the flu shots this week. From the flu shot, I did feel a little bit of nausea for the 2 days after the flu shot, or that day, and yeah, the 2 days after the flu shot. I think that's how I feel usually though when I do get the flu shot or any type of shot. I usually kind of feel a little bit of nausea for the days, and I think my arm did get a little bit of a bump. It was a little bit raised and really sore for the following 2 days, which is normal. I checked the symptoms what you get after getting the flu shot, and it seems to say that it's normal to, like, your body's trying to kind of defend itself, and it's normal for that to happen, and it's normal for yourself to feel a little bit of nausea and fatigue after you do get that shot. So I did feel that for the days following, and I did feel very kind of tired and just lazy, and I just didn't want to do anything. I'm like waiting for the times where this nesting period is meant to happen. I feel like I got that at like 20 weeks, that I got the energy to do things, and now I'm just feeling so exhausted. Like it's starting to get to the point where it's so like everything is such an effort. Like when I want to move, like when I'm in bed and I want to move from one side to the other, it's like doing a 3-point turn when you're driving. It's like such an effort. Like you have to, like, I kind of move my body, and then I get my hands and move my belly, and then move my hips, and then move myself. And in saying that, with my hips are so sore when I sleep on them at night. Like they just feel so sore, and I don't know if it's like the extra weight or what it is, but like at night it just feels like I'm dislocating my hips, just moving them from one side to the other. It's like, it's an effort. I've also bought these shoes from ASOS. They're just like slip-on shoes, and I did buy a size or half a size bigger because it was such an effort to put my Vans on. I've got Vans. So these are the shoes that I have, and I've been wearing all year pretty much, because I got them from Christmas from my husband last year. But it's just such an effort to put shoelaces on. Like my stomach is just in the way, and then I feel like I'm squeezing my stomach, and it just makes me feel like really uncomfortable. It makes me feel a little bit sick. So I went on ASOS and bought these shoes just so I can just slip them on and not have to bend over, which they have been great. The only thing that I can say with these, that you have to wear socks that are like one of those sneakers, like those ones that kind of hide, which I've only got like 2 pairs of those socks, so that's kind of annoying. Other than buying, I think, more of the socks that fit into these, this has been a pretty good buy. So if you're pregnant and if it's been an effort to put shoes on, buy these shoes. They were only like €24 on Amazon. So, I mean, Amazon, ASOS. But I wanted to mention that's helped. Oh yeah, so I've set up the travel bed upstairs. So at the moment it's just right next to my side. The travel bed's pretty good because you can actually unzip the whole side of it. So it's kind of like an extension of the bed. So I was thinking it would be really cool when he is asleep, and if he starts crying at the middle of the night, I can just kind of grab him and put him on the bed, and I can, like, I don't know, feed him and then put him back. So that's going to be really good. I think I'm going to actually keep him in there for the remainder of our time here, which is going to be about 6 months. and then when we go back home, transition him to his own room, because we are going to have a separate room for Noah when we go back home to Australia. Yeah, so my cravings this week have been everything bad. I've been craving chocolate, sweets, and oh my gosh, I've been craving pizza like no tomorrow. Like I just want to eat pizza. I keep on telling my husband like we need to eat some pizza. Even the ones that you can take at home, but we've been having issues with our oven. So yeah, and like I've been actually just very bored waiting for this little baby to come into my life. I can't wait for him to come. My husband did buy me a puzzle, which I finished in like 3 days, because I just was like, whenever I get a puzzle, I get so obsessed that I have to finish it. But yeah, that's pretty much my week. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to continue watching my pregnancy progression, subscribe and you'll see more videos in the future of my pregnancy and hopefully one day of this baby coming into this world. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!